Hi, welcome to week number 3 as we carry on in the Submarine of Scorpius or Scorpio. I'm going to review actually what I've been getting into the past few weeks. What am I saying, the past few weeks? Where have I been? The past week is what I mean. Because this week you can see that I have not done anything yet with the Constellation page, followed by the sign page. Scorpius as a constellation, I'm going to be looking into primarily, and I've got half a week left to do this. What I have been doing I'll get into, but I'm not behind because we're only halfway through. I'm going to be looking into, I think primarily, I want a strong sense of the astronomical information, yes, but also the historical. And I'm going to actually I like to have a little adventure, so I'm going to see maybe what the rest of the world that doesn't use the name Scorpio, I'll see if I can find out how this, I don't think I've come across it yet, how this constellation, this is one of the, I believe Scorpio is one of the constellations that has some of the major fixed stars in it that other astrologies rely on. I know there are at least four constellations that we go by that have the major fixed stars that everybody's relied on. So I'll put notes all over this. I'll watch for my margins, yes. And the same is true for Scorpio, the sign. What energies I feel are true to it. What do the people have to say about it? I mean, I already have lots of notes. But what I feel guided to, same for this. Whatever I feel, your guides want you to know certain things, and your gods want you to know certain things. They've brought you along on your path, right? And so I'm going to be, and you can feel like you have to push. You do have to push to find. You have to initiate sometimes because they've been pushing and pushing enough. But that is and research. I actually just I'd say at least half of my life is psychically led research. So maybe even more. So that's what I'll end up with, accomplishing by the end of this week. I want to backtrack to the calendar page because what I wanted to check at the beginning, and I forgot to, was go into, I have apps. I have Stellarium and Sky Safari in my phone. Stellarium I discovered online. For about 5 months I was, I smashed my phone and got into a bit of a mood, but they also wanted me to be away from a phone to work on this. And so I accepted that because it was a very deliberate smashing of my phone, my previous one. And so I had to work with a desktop version of an app that can show you the sky, yes? So I discovered Stellarium for the web, for the desktop. And it's very similar. I believe it's two French brothers came up with this, yes? And you can check your positioning. This is where Tropical's really going to take the hit very soon, and I'm surprised they haven't already. Because, hi Bob. That's my partner. Going to Sky Safari is where I started. And this is actually how I got into knowing about sidereal. Apart from Nicholas Campion in the 1980s, he was the head of the London Astrology group. And he confirmed that all birth charts should be reliant on sidereal placements because acknowledging, how everything had shifted. So, but if you get into one of these, then you can clearly see that the tropical placements that everybody else is relying on, not everybody, There's a significant war that's been going on between tropical and sidereal for long, and it has nothing to do with nakshatras. You know, that's a whole other system. So it's not Vedic astrology or Vedic astrology. Those are the nakshatras, which will like I've said in the book, it overlaps with some of the fixed stars. I owe it to a guy on Quora, in Quora Answers, who actually got me on the straight and narrow with that. So I wanted to check if Jupiter, I wanted to check these that I'd come up with based on, I think, the AstroSeek projections for where everything will be hitting and when. Because we had Mercury entering Pisces and Jupiter entering Aquarius in the first and second week. And here I am down in Aquarius. We have Jupiter, yes, in Aquarius. And there's Saturn in Capricornus, right? And then up here, we do have Mercury in Pisces, the Sun in Pisces, Venus in Pisces, and they're all heading, Uranus is up there in Aries, and these guys are heading to Aries. Now the question will be, we have charted the Sun entering Aries on the 14th, and we'll see if it actually is, right? Mars is supposed to be hitting Gemini, and here it is up in the tip of Taurus, right? So it's heading towards Gemini, yes, and that'll be on the 13th. And that's about it for now. So I was happy to see that, yep, that's all. We'll see if the third week's coming up, if these all hit when they hit. Because then what I do is I've been checking, bye Bob, I've been checking to see, this is last week, this is not this week, but I was checking to see how that if it affected me with Mercury, because I have a Pisces Mercury, to see how it, so how did it affect you once Mercury, your mind, your imagination, that's what Mercury is, and you want to know from your chart where your Mercury is, yes, and how does Pisces affect it, right? And then make notes about that. And then Jupiter's energy and empathy, and that's just entered Aquarius. And I swear to God, I had no serious accidents yet, but yesterday I dropped something 3 times. It's just, I've been canceling things that I meant to hit okay on, so we'll see if that has something to do with that, but and it might not. It might be the moon. But I'm making note, I'm checking, because more and more, this is a language we want to speak, but sort of in shorthand. You know, like it's, there's so much to know, but we can't all expect to become, you know, astrologers above and beyond anything else. I want a working, it's a working vocabulary, yes? That, you know, you want enough of a language that you can travel and communicate where you go, that kind of thing, right? And so that's, I caught up on that. There were some significant messages coming through that I made sense of. A Baba Jolie message that I wasn't sure, it kind of stuck in my head for a bit. She made a panda reference, and then I got a message from Seth Rich, if you look him up, and I didn't know that there was a panda connection to Seth Rich. And it ties into the murders I'm investigating. So his hasn't been what I've been investigating directly, but it's tied to all the others. And so that really came through strong. I finished up. Is there anything I wanted to say backtracking? I realized, because I didn't get into the questions because I knew that these would be specific to mine. But I did start to find I can explain that I do figure out whether no. Do a little bit of intuitive working here in terms of the way the houses are affected. My houses that are in that part of it are affected by house number 8. But I don't go into too deep an analysis because there's not room for it, and I'm not sure that I'll be right. Yes? And it's, no, that's all. There's something else that's sticking in my mind that I wanted to get into. And I'm going to just pause the tape for a second. Tape. What decade am I in? Okay. If I can find the button. Hang on. Yeah, what I wanted to go back to was back to the planets that I've been catching up on. Another thing I came up with was double checking against the chart, making a note actually on the planet page of where, let's say with Pluto, what season, and here's where it gets a little, this is going to overlap with my knowledge of the tarot and your knowledge of tarot, and then my eventual next edition of this book, which will be the tarot edition that I'm working on right now, because each sign and season, each sign, there are 3 deacons. Now, we got it wrong in terms of crediting how the Egyptians created deacons. What people rely on as Egyptian concept of deacons is only half of what the Egyptians created. The chart that people are referencing is only half a chart. It's the Earth chart. It's the they were actually, half of their charts are dealing with the heavenly other world chart. Yes, their concept of it, not the actual, not our sky, but their heaven's sky. Yes, and so there would actually be double instead of deacons. What are they? They whatever means 5, right? There would be actually 72. But if we go into, and that's what I'm meaning is in each sign, let's say Libra, there are 3 kinds of Libra. There are 3 phases of Libra. There are 3 phases of Aries, right? First, second, third. And we've been calling them deacons, okay? So we could say that, some say that there are actually 36 signs, true personality types, or archetypes, yes? That matters insofar as there's a tarot card that correlates to each of those 36 sections, which means that there's a tarot card that matches for each of those sections of the calendar, right? What I can do with my planets then to help understand my information even better is when I look at a planet placement, if I look at Pluto, mine is in the constellation of Virgo during the season of Libra, right? It's right there. Now, I haven't done an approximate work with this, but if you go to any of your other charts that give you the degrees, right? Even glancing, I've been as accurate as I can push myself, right? To make sure that I'm within, if it's a borderline on what I feel is a split between 2, shall we say, deacons, yes, then I'm careful to make sure that I understand that it's on that split. But let's say it's in the 3rd decan of Virgo, and it's clearly in the 2nd decan of Libra. Then I check what those cards are in tarot and what they mean, right? And I add that to my interpretation here. Right here, I just put a note in. And it's giving me even a better sense because I'm taking the tarot as truly as, because I rely on it, because I understand that a numerologist created this universe. Yes, this is all just lining up numbers with meanings, with whatever meanings are assigned that are beyond our say so. Yeah. So once we've got, that is something that I have an understanding of that you might not have an understanding of. So what I could do is I'll possibly come up with like a little supplemental page that gives a simple rundown of which cards correlate to which days. Yes, minus all the meanings and everything like that, but for a quick reference. And then I'll put that up as a shareable file on Drive and put the link in the next video. Because truly it does actually start to pull together the shadings, because you get a bit of a layer effect of, okay, Pluto's in this sign in this constellation represented by these specific cards that carry this specific meaning. And then you really start to pull together a sense of how that's been affecting your life, right? And it's really, really, really wonderful to see how the tarot and the astrology correlate. So I've gone and I've done that. I've been working on them. I printed up. I just have the moon and the black moon Lilith and my south node, and I believe Saturn and Uranus co-ruling. Those are 4 pages left to print up for those. I'm still working off of one print cartridge. Like one, I have separate color print cartridges. Yes, I have a Canon that uses 5 cartridges. So I'm still on the one magenta to get this far. Is there anything else? I do keep coming back to, actually as I'm pulling it down to get to the cards that I pulled for our predictions. I do feel like I need to connect even a bit more. And maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like there's maybe somewhere in here where I need to be pulling things together even a bit more. And what I need to also be doing is for the photo diary, I need to be starting collecting some of the photos. Don't have it here anywhere nearby. Of course not. But I actually, for all that this is a little chaotic, I do actually like it being loose. I really do. I'm kind of happy that it's not all bound yet. It's really kind of fun to flip through and just feel the ease of comparing pages. If I need like it's when it's bound, yes, you have to keep track of where that particular planet page is if you're trying to reference it. This one I just pull them together, hold one over the other, right? I do keep reading these back to myself, so these cards that we pulled. I've been leaving them up. And I think before I do this week's readings, I'm going to do a meditation video of these cards and then post that. And I'll do that for each house. So I think that's about it for now. Anything else? Where am I at? I'm at, this is the one downside, is flipping things around sometimes. But this is where I'm at. I need to finish up tonight. I need to finish filling this day in. This is all waiting for me. We're not there yet. So during these 4 days, I will catch up on these. And that's where we have it. What's coming through? We have Venus direct in Aries, possibly. So we'll see how your attractions, your appetites, your needs are affected in your first house. A new moon in Aries be for setting intentions, and that would be like a clear conscience. That's like a clearing up. That's getting clear in your, because for me the moon is your conscience, right? So that will be to do with 4th house things. But so then the overlap right now. Anything I want to say about that? No, because I want to stick to 8th house. If I get caught up in what house I'm in right now, then we might as well have done that. I'm really just paying attention to planets and immediate energy, separate from the house concerns for now, because we can only take on so much at one time. So yeah, if you can get your hands on Stellarium or Sky Safari, and switched up my orientation there. Okay, then we will be back. Listen, this is all, yeah. There's chaos going on around me a little bit, and it's like not a lot, but a little. That's what it's been feeling like since Jupiter hit Aquarius. Pisces for me was a really smooth transition. I actually did some really amazing communication things that day, forgetting that it was the day that Pisces and Mercury were coming together. Well, it's hard. See, there's such an overlap between Aquarius and Pisces, right? That who can say for sure. Yeah. Yeah, we're heading towards, will the sun be actually shifting into Aries around the 14th? And what will that do to our triggers and our instincts? And where's your... But in terms of Pluto energy, which is what we're dealing with in Scorpio house, Mars energy. Mars and Pluto co-rule. So... where's Mars? Okay, so it's in Taurus right now. Heart and loyalties and love. In finances, tied to finances, cash flow. And Pluto, what did we say? Where's Pluto? Where is Pluto? That's one thing I could show you here. Watch me not find it. Where should it be? There it is. I paid the like $5 extra, and I got to do that again here. You can tap on. Now you can't do it when it's in below the horizon. It only works when it's above horizon. So let's go to Mars, right? And even without paying anything, it'll start to give you information, yes. So this is one place I'll start off getting the info that I need. If I need any photos of Ireland, thanks to NASA calling it Mars, then I'll go to NASA. You might want to look up Project Paperclip if you haven't ever. Might want to do that. But yeah, no, this is an excellent, this and Stellarium are, brilliant for this. Let's just look up, while we're here, since we were, how do I lose them so fast? Hi Leo and Leo minor. Okay. Sagittarius. See, there's Centaurus, okay? And this is who Chiron actually gets turned into, not Sagittarius. Thank you, Hannah's Elsewhere, the channel on YouTube. Hannah's Elsewhere. She's the one that pointed that out to me. Why can't I find... Where am I looking that's wrong? Oh, okay. You know what? No, I don't want my phone. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. There's Scorpius. Okay, here we are. Scorpius. So we have Antares, Teshuba. Right now I can't access information about them because we're below the horizon. Shaula, Gertab, Sargas. Get to know about those stars this go? Yes? See what there is. Who discovered them, shall we say, or who got the credit for it, who didn't. The Sath. Why? Yeah? Get a feel for it. Because who is he really that he's affecting us? You know, and how did we get stuck on this Scorpius concept? Well, we know, the Greeks, but how true is it? That's what we want to know. And so, that's it for now. And I will be back. Well, I'm going to do some readings for the verse this week. But I'll be back next Wednesday to basically catch up on getting into the, by next week then we go into your birth chart in deep with your 8th house and everything connected to the 8th house and the 8th house placements and your Scorpio placements, the triangulation. Yeah. Alrighty. Until then.